On this very day in 2011, I created the Lavender Town Theory, which might be the most crucial video in this channel's history. Then the year after that, I made the Lavender Town Theory Revisited. Then the year after that, I made Creepy Locations in Pokemon. Then the year after that, I made Creepy Locations in Pokemon Part 2. Then the year after that, I made a Lavender Town Look Back. Then the year after that, I finally brought mystery videos back to this channel with the series you're watching now. And finally this year, I think I want to discuss another Pokemon-related mystery. With Pokemon being one of Nintendo's most popular franchises, it's no surprise that the series has a number of strange and obscure spin-offs under its belt. One of the more notable is the early 2000s stage show Pokemon Live, based on the first anime adaptation of the game. The musical starred Ash, Misty, and Brock, and followed their attempt to win the contest for the Diamond Badge. The musical also featured a new character dubbed Mecha Mewtwo, a mech that would copy its opponent's abilities to defeat them. The musical consisted of both previously released songs sung by the anime voice actors, as well as new tracks made specifically for the show. It was actually rather successful commercially, but largely ignored by critics and unsurprisingly faded into obscurity. In fact, up until recently, it was just a little piece of trivia that some people knew about. Really, Pokemon Live isn't that interesting by itself. In fact, the only reason it's gotten any attention as of late was because of the show's failure to get a home video release. Chad Tronick is a YouTuber who creates Rift-style reaction videos, and the new interest directly stems from a video where he encourages fans to petition and search for the DVD masters. As the story goes, he was planning on creating a video walking through the musical, but upon looking for footage, he realized that all that was available were recordings that originated from audience members, and these were all terrible bootleg quality. While Chad wasn't able to find the level of footage he wanted, he did learn that at one point it was actually planned to be released onto DVD. The recording to be distributed was specifically the Chicago performance, and verbal proof of this is in the behind-the-scenes footage from the play.
This is technically not the first return from U2. Many of you were lucky enough to catch Pokemon Live during its US tour last year, and were blown away when Mewtwo made a surprise appearance. Oh, don't worry. If you didn't get a chance to see it live, it's coming to TV and home video later this year. And in addition to dozens of Pokemon Live on stage, the musical features all of your favorite TV show characters, including an incredibly handsome Brock chasing after Officer Jenny and Nurse Joy.
After learning this, he decided that the best move would be to throw all this information out to his fans, and hope that their efforts would get the masters of the DVD resurfaced.
They've made it completely unavailable to the entire world! And that's just not right. We need to see Pokemon Live. We need to see it. Guys, if you know anyone or anybody that knows anything about this, let me know. In fact, send me an email at this email address, and let's start a hashtag movement here. Find Pokemon Live. All right, I think that should be good enough.
Chad Tronick's fans were quick on their feet. It wasn't long before they began contacting actors and members of the production crew for inquiries about the project. Eventually, they managed to contact the production stage manager, Chris Mitchell. Beforehand, it was said that he maintained a copy of the show on DVD. When fans began speaking to him, however, he revealed that he didn't have the professional recording, and as it turns out, it was more or less just another bootleg of the show. According to Chris, however, he did attempt to get the official footage from Pokemon USA to no avail. To compensate, he eventually uploaded all his footage to YouTube in one giant video. It was also found out that he leaked the musical's script to the internet back in late 2012. Still though, even after a big YouTuber brought attention to the lost piece of media, no one was able to obtain it. The weirdest thing about this musical not getting released though is that this is actually really common in the theater community. Shows will often get a professionally recorded performance, then they'll simply not release it to the public. This leads into the very strange business of musical distribution. When a Broadway show comes out, you really only have a few options for seeing it. 1, you can go to New York and get a ticket. 2, you can be content with the cast album of the show. Or 3, hope it's popular enough to go on tour and get a movie. The one thing you don't usually get from these musicals is a video release of the Broadway show, even though from what I've seen they almost always do exist. And even stranger, there is a way to watch them. You see, the Broadway community has a deal in place with the New York Public Library where you can find an archive of all this lost musical media. But there's a catch. You A, need to give them a reason why you need to watch the show, such as you're an actor researching a part, and B, you can watch it at the library in a private room, but you cannot leave the premises with it. That's right. Hundreds of hours of lost media are all stored in this building, and the general population can't see any of it. So why exactly don't they just release these recordings onto Amazon or iTunes and make some money? Well, the answer to that isn't very satisfying. The first point many bring up is that if they release them on video, people would be less inclined to see them in person, but this just doesn't make any sense. Musicians release live shows all the time, and that doesn't stop people from going to see them in concert. There have also been some musicals that have brought live recordings to DVD, and I have yet to see a single person claim that that impacted ticket sales later on. Let's also not forget that many of these shows hidden in the archives bombed, meaning that they don't have a chance of seeing a tour or movie anyway. So if you want to see American Psycho the musical, I hope you like this bootleg copy because it's the only way you're going to watch it. It's crazy because they really have nothing to lose by selling the recording online. In fact, they have something to win from making it public. We see this all the time in film. A movie might fail at the box office but build up a massive following with DVD and digital sales. This could work for musicals as well. A show may not get the deserved attention when it comes out, but if you released it online, it could have a chance of building up a cult following, meaning it could end up turning a profit later on. I actually have an example of a little musical that did just that you might have heard of. It's called The Wizard of Oz. Back in 1939, this movie lost the studio money, but rather than just throwing it in the vault never to be seen again, over the years they've re-released it in the theaters, on TV, and physical media, making it now one of the most iconic films of all time. The second point people make for them not releasing musical recordings is that they would need to include that in the union contracts, because everyone would need their cut of sales. But I don't even get this point. They already have to do this with the cast audio recordings that they sell, so why not make up a similar contract for the video? Who would object? It's more money all around since they already have the show recorded. I'll admit that I don't know much about the inner workings of this industry, but it kinda just seems like they keep doing it this way because it's how it's always been done. Going back to specifically Pokemon Live, I actually checked the New York Public Library archives to see if they had it available for private viewing, and it actually popped up, but not for the video. You can go in and see the musical's book if you'd like, but unfortunately that's all they seem to have available. Although the original goal of the search was never truly resolved, some good did come out of it. The footage that Chris did post online was actually impressive for a bootleg. Besides that, a professional recording of the Dubai performance of the musical for the Dubai Shopping Festival was also released online. Though it slightly differs from the American version by slimming down the plot and removing a good number of tracks, it's something nonetheless. Still, it's a bit disappointing that the HD recordings of the performance have remained locked away in Pokemon USA headquarters. Just because the high-quality version of Pokemon Live has yet to be found doesn't mean it will never come out. If people keep on asking, eventually we may see an official release of it, so I suggest people keep on asking around. So anyway, until next time, thanks for watching.